Well, Rich, how are you, sir? Going to be our first episode away from baseball a little bit, but you never know. It still might get talked about. That's just the way this rolls. But we do have a guest tonight. But how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Figured I'd get in the proper mood here with the background. We got the Lombardis, we got the cups, and we got, of course, the World Series trophies there. So, championship mindset.
There you go. There you go. I like it. Yeah, I just have. I got championship mindset right there.
Oh yeah, Heinz Ward, man.
Jersey. I got some Palomalo behind me. I got some green over here. Najee in the back. Watt right behind me.
There you
But
go.
but anyway, Rich, we got a guest tonight, and we're gonna bring her on and let her introduce herself, and let's do it.
Let's do it.
How
Hey
are you
guys.
tonight, man? How are you tonight?
Good.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Good, good.
I'm ready to roll, man. I'm excited. Excited about
Right.
football.
So, Allison, how long have you been a Steeler fan?
Oh gosh. Born. Well, actually, technically, I wasn't born. Because I'm adopted, and my birth mom is a Browns fan. But my parents were born and raised in Pittsburgh, so for as long as I can remember, I've been bleeding black and gold. So, and I'm 45 now, so it's been a long time.
Well, just to let you know, because I have a cottage home and in the Cleveland vicinity, I become an Indians fan over the summer. So
Ah, the Guardians are all right. I mean, the Pirates, right? I mean, what else?
we live in
It's rough.
optimism.
It's rough.
And eventually,
Right.
the
Well, that's
reality.
good.
Eventually, the reality sets in, and we understand where we're going. Rich like still gonna make the playoffs, so, but I think reality set in on them.
It happens, right? I mean,
It's been a year.
when you're a sports fan, you
definitely been a year.
kind of gotta roll with the punches, right?
Oh,
You
we
do. You
Mm.
do. And of course, I have fun around here in Waco, Texas, where I'm right between Dallas and Houston. So, I've got all the Rangers fans, of course, and I kind of grew up. We moved from Pittsburgh to Texas to Arlington when I was 7. So, kind of inadvertently, the Rangers became a number 2 team. But then you got the Astros, who have done all their stuff with it, and being in sports radio for 20 years, it's been one of those deals, the trash cans and the crappy teams and the 100 loss teams and then the World Series winners and all that. So you talk about the roller coaster of life here too. It's not just in Pittsburgh, it's everywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah.
So, Allison, you obviously you do Steelers Wire. Go ahead, fill us in on that. If it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been writing for Steelers Wire for 5 years, and my managing editor is Kurt Popejoy, who a lot of Steelers fans know and love. He's been covering the Steelers for a long time, for various outlets. But yeah, we have a lot of fun over there at Steelers Wire, and we hope that everybody kind of enjoys checking us out, checking out our work. Yep.
Rich, you look like you're ready to fire off right now. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, he's ready. I can tell.
By the way, you score massive bonus points with me for the Alf over your left shoulder.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I tried to get him. Oh, there we go over there. Yep, try to get him. Here we go. Pretty badass.
A Steelers Alf, even better. Oh,
yeah, my. He's got a newborn shirt on. He's pretty cool. I like him a lot.
I love it.
He talks, but his battery's dying. So.
Do you eat cats?
Yeah. Well, my cat. He doesn't eat my cats, which is good. My cats are still alive, so that's good.
my chemistry teacher in high school, his hall pass was a stuffed Alf doll.
Oh, Alf is great. He's generational.
Absolutely.
Grew up with a lot of generational stuff. We're the same age, so.
Yeah, he's great.
Right?
Good time.
Here in Tampa, do you get to go to any games? Do you come up? Do you go to games that are close? Or
Yeah, I mean, I went. It's been a while since I've been to Acrisure. I think it was pretty much Heinz last time I was there. I did see the Steelers and the Buccaneers played not this past off season, but this off season or the preseason before last, and that was pretty great. I mean, it was hot as hell, but it was really great to be able to watch all the guys warm up. It's nice because I've been to a lot of games, away games. Like I went to when they played the Falcons in 2022. That was quite a game to be at because it was at Mercedes-Benz, and just you would have thought it was at Acrisure, right? Because that when it was insane with Steelers fans. Like even in the concourses and things, it was just it was like being in Pittsburgh. It was great. So that's that's what we get to look forward to on Sunday. I almost wish I could go. Wish I could be there because it is, again, even though it's in Atlanta, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be just
it's a puddle jump for everyone going. It's
right. That's true. Yeah.
It's the hub from Pittsburgh. Like you're going Delray, you're going Southwest now.
Right.
Yeah, it's the hub. So it's a free jump to Atlanta.
Yeah, pretty much.
Early enough, you could find them for $60, $50.
Right. Yeah. No question.
I was at the what was the old stadium? What was Atlanta's old stadium? It was the Dome. I don't remember the name of it.
Old Atlanta Stadium.
Is that what we'll call it? We'll call it.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. We'll call it.
Did you go to the old Dome or the outdoor one? Because they played at all Atlanta, Fulton County for a while.
No, I went to the Dome. It was definitely the Dome because it was Michael Vick versus Roethlisberger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was a while ago.
Was it called the Georgia
Dome? Yeah, it was.
Or did they just call it the Georgia Dome?
It was the Georgia Dome.
That year, I also went to RCA too. Now it's Lucas Stadium.
Right.
I went before they all got new transformations. Anyway, guys, what do we think? What do we think's coming up on this season? We're probably all going to have different thoughts on this. Go ahead.
Yeah,
we're going first. I'll go last.
I don't know what to think. I really don't know. I really don't know what to think, man. It's I know it's because of all the changes, right? Like we don't know what to expect from Arthur Smith. We don't know what to expect from Russell Wilson. We don't know if Tomlin, he's saying that there's going to be some packages for Justin Fields. Is it true or not? I have no idea. Is it just a smokescreen? It's really going to be interesting, I think, because, we've got Arthur Smith who's playing the team that he was, head coach of last year. And then, the week after that, they're going into Denver where Russell Wilson was once the quarterback for a short period of time. So the first two games are going to be interesting, but, Atlanta obviously knows Arthur Smith well, and Arthur Smith knows Atlanta well. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's any advantage or disadvantage, to that or not. But yeah, I don't think anybody really knows what to expect, right, of the season.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I think that Fields is the starter by the Cowboys game.
Okay.
By week 5, I think Fields is the starter by then. Wilson is going to play a couple of tough defenses along the way, and I think that he's going to. They're going to get to that point that Tomlin's going to want to open things up a little bit, get Arthur Smith out of his comfort zone, and I see Fields, doing what he needs to do because the Colts defense is good. Chargers defense they've got a really good pass rush. Denver's got a really good defense. Atlanta's D is hit and miss, but I think we're going to see. Russell Wilson looked okay in practice and in preseason, but I think when it comes down to the game, I think Russ has seen better days. Yeah. He's better as a backup, as almost as a coach on the field for Justin Fields, and to go from there. But there's a few things that I think are going to be different about this Steelers team this year, and one nobody is talking about. Why is nobody talking about the new guy wearing 84? Cordero Patterson.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying, well, Fields is going to be in this slash role and all this other stuff. Cordero Patterson's the one that's in the slash role, because you can use him in the backfield, you can use him at receiver, you can use him running punts back and kicks back. You could do everything short of putting him on the defensive line, and he's going to do well, and he's still got the speed and the ability to make plays. Is he going to be a Pro Bowler and rush for 1,000 yards? No. But is he going to be I think, a vital piece of the offense? I think so.
Yeah. And Arthur Smith, Arthur Smith wouldn't. I can't imagine that he would have brought him to Pittsburgh if he didn't think that he could, right? Even though he showed up a little bit out of shape and he still looks like he needs to lay off the Twinkies a little bit. He could end up, being, a pretty good piece for the offense for sure.
Well, the thing with Patterson, though, I mean, a slower Patterson is still faster than most of the guys in the league. Right. This is a guy that had Darrell Green speed coming out, and he's definitely going to be the fastest running back of the three. If you consider it a three-headed monster, he's definitely the fastest running back out of the three.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel it's going to be a make or break season for Tomlin. He's got everything he wanted, and if he fails, I think Khan's going to get rid of him. I think that's why they gave him everything he wanted.
Yeah.
He didn't get everything he wanted, though.
He got a lot of stuff he wanted, though.
He did, but he didn't get that true number one receiver.
And we have another head coach just sitting right next to him. So you don't just bring in another head coach for no reason.
Oh, no. You don't want Arthur Smith head coaching this team. No.
I don't
jump off the Clemente Bridge. No.
I think the Steelers missed their opportunity when they had Brian Flores as their senior defensive assistant. I think they missed a big opportunity there to keep him around and make him a head coach if Tomlin floundered. But yeah, I don't know. It would be weird. Wouldn't it be weird though if the Steelers had an offensive-minded head coach? Like, how strange would that be, huh?
I'd love it.
Prove to me that Smith is offensive-minded.
Well, that's his bread. I get what you're saying, but that's his thing, right? He's not a defensive-minded coach. You know what I mean?
I think he is one of those guys that fits the Peter principle better than most of the guys. He's in that same realm as Josh McDaniels and I'll think of the guy's name in a minute. Former DC in Dallas that's been a head coach, and Dan Quinn.
Right. Yeah.
You get to that Peter principle is you advance to the point of incompetency.
Yeah.
Head coach is incompetency. Coordinator, fantastic. All three of them, great coordinators. Head coach, not so much.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we're gonna get into this. I'm not getting into this debate again. 9-8 does not win championships.
No, it doesn't.
Neither does 3-13.
But it gives us a number 1 and number 2 draft pick.
Yeah. And that's what the Steelers need. If they're ever going to get a quarterback.
Where we might have a really good quarterback.
Yeah, we might.
Like Jalen Daniels. I'm not even going to go into that because I'm not a fan of that guy.
Well, but I've been thinking about this a lot. The way that they draft, let's look at it from this standpoint.
When you draft in the middle of the draft, you have to take the best available at that point.
Which is great. You got to have an offensive line. You got to have defensive players. You need receivers. Why can't you go get a free agent quarterback? I know of a pretty darn good one that's probably going to be on the market next year. Where's Dak? 4 in Dallas?
Yeah, Dak. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the Steelers. It's just another thing that would be out of the Steelers' comfort zone, right? They've always had franchise quarterbacks for the last.
But
What?
have they since Ben left?
No, they haven't. They definitely haven't. They're definitely in a period of transition right now, for sure.
Who was our franchise quarterback before Ben? Bubby Brister? Tommy Maddox?
Well,
No,
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw.
I mean,
don't give me any of the Bubby Brister, Neil O'Donnell, Tommy
there was a period
Maddox.
of time where we did not have anything. We were going through musical chairs.
Right, and that's what we're doing right now. It's I don't think that it's really any different than going through the Bubby Bristers and the Tommy Maddox and all that jazz to get,
Oh,
I mean, Bubby Brister.
I think you're under. I think you guys are underestimating Justin Fields tremendously. Justin Fields was on a team that was 100% of an abject disaster.
I hope we are.
He was running for his life every time the ball was snapped.
Mm-hmm.
He had very little talent around him. If he had the Bears offense they've got this year, you would see a lot of really good things out there where they actually have a number one in a doozy and a number two in Allen and Swift and guys like that. If he had that, well, heck yeah, he would have been able to do something. That's why I was really unhappy that Ayuk didn't come to the Steelers. Can Pickens be a one? He can be, sure. Is he going to be? We'll find out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still not sold yet, really, on Pickens being a number one guy. I feel like he needs to have some attention taken away from him, right? And we don't have that. Not that I know of. I mean, Van Jefferson may come out and surprise everybody, or Roman Wilson may get better, you know what I mean, and be that like Puka Nacua type guy, you know what I mean, as a rookie. But the chances of that happening are slim to none, right? So it's basically up to George, and who on the team right now is going to take away the defensive coverages, because it's like, Pickens is a crybaby. Right? We know he's a crybaby. That's why we got rid of Deontay Johnson. He was a crybaby. But it's like, now what are we going to do?
Most wide receivers.
If he's double covered and nobody's throwing to Pickens because, of the defensive coverages, he's going to be upset. He's going to be upset, and it's going to be a nightmare. So I'm really hoping that Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, you know what I mean? Like, Pat Fryer is probably going to be the number 2 target. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I see it, but we'll see what happens.
Being a number 2 targets.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're going to have to do, I think. But
I was just looking at the free agent receivers that are out on the street, okay?
We just brought someone in today.
I've got a name. There's a few names on here that are interesting, but there's one that really kind of makes me think. Michael Thomas is out there. Corey Davis is out there. Julio Jones is out there. Randall Cobb is out there. But what about Hunter Renfrow as a 2? Hunter Renfrow, possession receiver for years for the Raiders. He was never a number 1. He was never going to be a number 1. Never, I think, wanted to be the number 1. But could be that number 2 to take something, or 3 to take things away, because, have him and Patterson kind of be that 2-3 formation, whatever, until the other guys figure out what they're doing. I think I agree with Adam. I think Freiermuth is probably the number 2 receiver right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Renfrow, I mean, obviously it depends on, like, nobody really knows what was going on in Pittsburgh with the whole Ayuk thing. Like, some reporters are saying they had no intention of actually getting Brandon Ayuk. And there's some reporters that are saying, oh, you know what I mean? They had every intention of getting Brandon Ayuk. So either they were caught with their pants down, or they never had their pants down in the first place. Who knows? But I sort of feel like if it was going to be Renfrow, or if they wanted to bring a guy like Renfrow in, they would have done that already. That's just kind of my opinion.
Well, my guy that I know up there that had some contact with everything that was going on said that the biggest problem was that the Steelers would not budge over 28.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that's
that was
how cheap the Steelers are. They're cheap. They're really cheap. And I read today they didn't want to pay Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated or whatever. Said they didn't want to pay Ayuk more than TJ Watt. It's like, come on, man. Like, what is that? Like, what is it? We're not going to bring him in because we don't want to pay him more than TJ Watt. Like, really?
Did we
If
end
that's
up
the
signing
case-
Agnew today?
What's that?
Did we end up signing Agnew today? He was in Pittsburgh today.
Oh, yeah, he worked out. I don't know if they're going to sign him or not. I mean, he seemed like because we need a return guy, right? I mean, we don't really have. It seemed like the preseason kind of left that kind of up in the air. You know what I mean? Like who the return guy was going to be? Like
Right now,
Plumlee was. What's that?
Right now,
Austin or Patterson?
Right.
Patterson.
Yeah, but I mean, neither of them. Yeah, I mean, I know preseason is preseason, but neither of them really looked like they were worthy of the starting specialist role. But we'll see. So much up in the air. Totally so much up in the air. It's almost too much. It's making me a little nervous.
Well, and the Steelers definitely have to get it all figured out in the first 9 games because those last 8, I mean, that's murderer's row for that on that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get past week 10, and they get done with Washington, it's banger. To use the WWE thing with Sheamus, banger after banger after banger after.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to get the snot kicked out of them every night for the last 8 games. And if we could get 3 and 5 out of that, I'd be thrilled. 4 and 4, I'd be dancing in the street out here.
Those 3 games in 10 days are going to kill us.
Yeah, it's not.
Especially with the last game.
Well, the Bengal game, there's a 10-day difference. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
We have a 10-day break. We have a 10-day break. And then January 5th, the when we play the Bengals. And that game is TBD, so it's not.
Right.
And 2 of those 3 in the 10-game stretch are road games.
Right. It's Eagles, Eagles, Ravens, and Chiefs.
Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs. Eagles and Ravens are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
We're home Christmas Day.
Yeah, but still, 3 games, 10 days, 2 on the road against 3 teams that arguably let's throw it out there. Arguably are going to be contending for the Super Bowl title. They'll definitely be up for their conference championships. It's not like they're playing the forget that. It's not like they're playing the Patriots and the Giants and the Cardinals or something like that. They're playing some really tough. If they can win one of those 3, I'm happy.
I think this Falcons game is going to be more of a challenge than what we're all thinking. And I just do. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do too.
And Tomlin and Raheem Morris, you know what I mean? They're like, I mean, they both came from Tampa, right? So, I mean, they both know each other pretty well. So,
the big thing the Steelers have to do is get pressure on Cousins. Mm-hmm. If they don't get pressure on Cousins, forget it. You can if they let him sit back there in the pocket, he will pick them to death.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can get the pressure, Cousins doesn't move well.
No,
he's never been fleet of foot. No. So if they can get pressure,
I have Pitts and I have London on my fantasy.
Well, you can have those guys all day, and I think Pitts has a big day. I do.
I think Pitts is the number 1 tight end this year. Did you see that? In fantasy, Pitts is the number 1 tight end in fantasy this year. Did you see that?
In some formats. I mean, come on, Travis Kelce.
You look at did you see my ratings?
Me?
No.
Oh, I was going to say
Adam. When I did my ratings, I had Pitts 4th.
I have Pitts on every one of my teams.
I don't know that he's number 1, but I had him 4th.
Number 1. And Allison, do you do fantasy?
I do. I just drafted today. I used to be in like 3 leagues a year, and I was like, F that. It was too much. Now I'm just in 1. Just finished a draft a few hours ago. I'm pretty happy about my lineup. So we'll see.
What'd you get?
Yeah. I have no idea. No, just kidding. So I got Jaylen Warren as my running. So Tyreek Hill, right? So we get to keep somebody. It's not a keeper league. I mean, it's a keeper league, but it's not a dynasty league. So I had Tyreek Hill from last year. I got to keep him, which is very exciting.
Nice.
And I got some other guys, But yeah, I mean, I got Freiermuth as I got Laporta as my tight end. Freiermuth's my backup. I got the Steelers defense, which I'm definitely a homer in many situations. Didn't draft either of the quarterbacks, of course, but I got me some Steelers, so that's all that really matters.
Right?
Yeah, Purdy is my quarterback, so Purdy and Aaron Rodgers. So I
like Purdy this year. I have Purdy in one of my picks.
Mm-hmm.
Outside the Steelers defense in my big league, outside the Steelers defense and Freiermuth, I don't have anybody on Steelers.
Yeah,
I have a mix.
Yep.
Harrison. I
wanted Pickens, but I didn't get him.
I got a former Steeler,
right?
But yeah, I picked up Connor.
Oh yeah, I would have liked to have gotten him. He didn't fall to me, but I would have liked to have gotten him. I almost looked at Deontay Johnson, but you don't know. Like Deontay Johnson's a solid receiver, right? We know that, but it's like who's throwing to him? Like nobody really knows what's going to happen there. In Carolina, how that's going to play out.
Pretty good. They're saying like there's their only target down there. I know we're well off track on the Steeler talk, but sometimes.
Yeah, he is pretty much. Right.
You do this all the time, Adam.
Yeah.
Allison, this is one of our things. We start out somewhere, and then God knows where we end up. One of these days we're going to end up talking NASCAR or something when it's all said and done.
Let's not talk about. Talk about Chase Briscoe.
That's when I close my laptop. Bye.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
don't know anything about NASCAR, so.
But
I'm sure
this
Daytona, you never went to a 500. You never had the urge to go over to a 500, Allison?
No.
I'm just wondering, the scenes, the entertainment.
Yeah, no, I just can't. I can't. I'm too like ADD to just watch cars driving.
It's a lot better live. It's a lot better live, Allison. It is.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
definitely.
I was like, this is so much better live than it is on TV.
Oh yeah. So, as someone that's covered about 70, I've probably covered 75 races, and yeah, I'll tell you the perfect comparison. It's hockey. Live,
or baseball even, right?
TV does not do justice to hockey. You go live, it's a whole different game. Racing's the same thing. Watching NASCAR on TV, that's one thing. You go to the race and get the whole atmosphere and you see everything that's going on, I assure you would have an entirely different outlook on it. I assure you. Especially someplace like Daytona.
I do not doubt that one bit. Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So just to let everyone know, question. Allison is in Tampa. Have you been to any Penguin games?
Have I been to any what games?
Penguins.
Penguin games. No, I have not.
Penguins Lightning?
Nope.
You've never gone to a Penguin game your whole time there?
No.
Oh, you need to get over the hump. You need to go.
I do. Hockey is one of those games where I have been to live hockey games and live baseball games. Both hockey and baseball, like you can't beat them live. I mean, you just really can't. But yeah, no, I have not been to Amalie Arena to watch any Lightning games. But I guess if I would, it would be the Lightning and Penguins for sure. No question. Right.
That would definitely be the game. I got to go to a Panther Penguin game back in I don't even remember 2002, 2003. That was pretty wild. I didn't know what to expect. Like 100 degrees outside, but people were skating on ice inside.
Right.
Anyway, so back to what are we thinking for Russell Wilson going back to Denver? I don't see much in Russ.
No,
I've never been a fan of this guy, so it's really hard for me to get excited. I've never been a fan of Seattle.
No.
I've never been a fan of them in Denver.
Mm-mm.
I
Nope.
actually cheered for the Patriots when they intercepted them and did that stupid pass. I've never been a Russ fan. Rich knows this.
Yeah.
We talked about it last Tuesday on open mic. Allison, we also do an open mic night here on Tuesdays, so
Gotcha.
anything goes.
Yeah. I mean, he takes care of the ball. You know what I mean? He doesn't throw a lot of picks. He takes a lot of sacks. And which is interesting because if you look at his injury history, he doesn't have very much of it, right? Like he hasn't missed like 3 games in his entire career, right? And it's like, and 2 of them were just because Denver was like, we don't want to play you or whatever. But so he's super durable. He doesn't throw what's up.
He's good in the red zone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's got a really good red zone percentage. So I don't know, man. I hope I think that there's a lot of people that don't know what to expect out of Russ or don't think that he's going to produce anything. Honestly, I hope as a Steelers fan, I hope he proves everybody wrong, but it's like, I don't see it either, to be honest with you right now. Anyway, I just don't see it, but, and he's not really built, as you were saying earlier, Rich, it feels like Justin Fields is definitely, a lot more, like maybe Arthur Smith's offense is going to be, more prone to what Justin Fields' skills are than what Russell Wilson's are. I mean, Russell Wilson used to be age, you know what I mean? Like it kills everybody, right? But it's like, he used to be way more mobile than he is now. And now it's like, oh man, if he does start running, you better watch out. You know what I mean? It's like, not watch out in a good way, but watch out and like, oh no, what's going to happen, so it's going to be interesting.
Tom Brady.
I had this vision. Well, I had this vision when they brought Smith in and I was going, nah, this can't happen. Then they bring in Cordell Patterson, and I've had it in my head probably 10 times. At some point, it may even happen against Atlanta. We're going to see a triple option. They're going to line up Fields and Warren and Cordell Patterson, and they're going to run a triple option. If it works, go for it. Okay, I don't care as long as it works. They could do the Statue of Liberty, the Fumblerooski, whatever they got to do. I don't care as long as it works. But I think that that's the biggest thing. Like you said, Russell Wilson's just not as much of a runner as he was. When he first came in, he would run the ball if he needed to. Fields has no problem taking off. So, I think that's going to help him get in there faster. I definitely am looking at, and I realize this is kind of a weird comparison, but I'm looking at Fields / Wilson the same way I looked at Tony Romo when he was in Dallas. If you got to throw the ball more than 30 times, you're in trouble. Because that was when he had Zeke in his prime and all that kind of stuff. When you've got the running game like you've got, and you've got a quarterback in Fields who can run as well, if he's throwing the ball more than 30 times in the game, you've got problems.
Right.
Because that means the running game ain't working.
And that's what the Steelers are relying on this year, right? Or apparently supposed to rely on. But it's like the offensive line is in shambles already. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that they really were hoping that it was going to be, Jones and Fotano and Zach Frazier. I mean, actually, they thought it was going to be Nate Herbig. But thankfully, it's not him. And so it's going to be, it's – I mean, they're really relying a lot on. I think they're going to rely a lot on the run game, and it's going to be interesting because Naj doesn't really. He needs holes. You know what I mean? He needs holes to be productive, and he can't really, make his way through it if there aren't any. So he's kind of not. He gets So that offensive line is kind of in shambles, and I'm a little sad about that. Because I think that they've been drafting heavy offensive line the past couple seasons, and they just need it to work. And I don't know that it's going to right away.
It doesn't help that we have injuries.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Spencer Anderson is starting left guard, I guess, on Sunday.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be interesting.
According to the Steelers website, you've got Moore at left tackle, Anderson at guard, Herbig at center, Daniels at right guard, and Jones at tackle. That's according to the website.
Herbig's out for the season. But so it's gonna be Zach
That's
Frazier.
what I was thinking. I was like, I don't understand why he's
right. Yeah,
you know. So I mean, I'm thinking Zach Frazier's your guy there.
Yeah, definitely. And he didn't allow any sacks in the preseason, which was good. He had a really strong preseason. Yeah. Sayamalo was gonna hurt though, because I mean, Sayamalo didn't allow. I don't think he allowed any sacks at all last year. Maybe he some hurries or whatever, but I don't think he allowed any sacks. So that really kind of crushed us as well. But thankfully, it's just a sprain, pectoral sprain. So apparently, he's supposed to be back in the next couple games or whatever. But yikes!
Yeah, Pick tear would have been bad.
Yeah.
Pick tear would have been season.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And and that's the thing that the Steelers don't have, and it seems like they never have, is depth in the offensive line.
Right.
I don't know why. It just always seems like they have zero depth there. That if somebody goes down, it's like going from NFL to high school.
Right. Or JV, as Tomlin likes to say. Right. They have a bunch of guys who can play a bunch of different roles. You know what I mean? It seems like their depth, like every guy can play a bunch of different positions, but it's like if more than one guy goes down, what is that versatility going to do for you? Right. It's like, you only have so much depth, right? It's going to be, I don't know.
Speaking of guys playing more than one position, I've seen and heard a lot of Connor Hayward, not only playing tight end, of course, but playing some fullback.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how,
especially in short yardage.
Yeah. I think that's why they ended up cutting that. He might be back in the practice squad, maybe that Jack Coletto or whatever. I don't know if he's back in the practice squad or not. But they did have a fullback for most of the offseason. They ended up cutting him, which I was kind of surprised because I thought that they, were kind of in love with him. But yeah, I mean, why would you waste a spot if you got Connor Hayward who can play both spots?
And I guess Washington. I bet you Hayward's more of a fullback all season than he will be a tight end with Washington and Frymouth.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I hope Washington. I hope he surprises us this year, man. He's a big dude.
We're on the same page there, Al.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd really like to see him kind of make a way. Carve out a nice little role for him, or big role for himself.
But you figure you get a 3rd and short. And you got those two guys at tight end, Hayward in the backfield at fullback. I could be in the backfield, and it ain't going to matter. You can just go right up the gut, and there you go. So, I think that's a definite positive that the short – because there was a lot of times last year the Steelers had 3rd and short and punt. It's like, what the heck's going on here? Why can't we convert 3rd and less than 3? If you've got that type of setup, especially if Jones does what he's supposed to do at tackle, then you go right behind those guys, and there you go.
Yeah. Or just convert on 2nd down and then not have to worry about 3rd down.
Well, now you're wanting to make it simple. Come on now. Let's go
here. Yeah.
I like simple.
What's that?
I like simple.
Yeah.
Simple is good. When it works.
Right, yeah, exactly.
5 yards, 1st down, 5 yards, 2nd down, and do it all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
Even better, 1st down, 8, go deep, open up the field, and then 3rd and 2. There you go.
I would like to see the Steelers go deep on their first pass of the season. First play, actually. Not even that. I don't even want to see them come out and run. I want them to surprise the Falcons defense. No? Yes? Yeah, I mean,
I'm with you. I am with you 100%.
Calvin Austin bomb right away. That'd be awesome.
Right? Yeah.
First play
off guard.
First play action. Send Pickens straight down the field, and here we go.
Right.
Yeah. And Austin.
I agree. Yeah, I hope that happens. That'd be really nice. Shock the world.
Pickens gonna be double covered.
Yeah, he is. And he's going to cry about it. It's going to be sad.
It's going to be an ugly mess. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, I
Wherever
sort of
he lines
agree
up,
on
he's
that.
going to be double covered. They did not bring in any protection for him.
Mm-mm,
They didn't do anything for him.
mm-mm,
Ooh, they brought in Scotty Miller. They brought in Vaughn Jefferson.
mm-hmm.
I mean, unless Calvin Austin can
Yeah,
develop in 4 days and become a number 2 for sure. But yeah, right
right.
now he's a slot guy, which I thought that would have been Scotty Miller's role after watching him in Tampa for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Alex,
Right. Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Steve Miller in Tampa, didn't you? Pretty much his whole career, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He was pretty great in Tampa. He went to Atlanta after that for I think a year and didn't really do much. But again, it's another one of those Arthur Smith guys that he saw something in him and brought him in, and now he's there. So he's got a roster spot. So, which I was kind of surprised. I thought it was going to be Des Fitzpatrick. You know what I mean? But they didn't even sign Des Fitzpatrick to the practice squad, which I was kind of surprised about. So I don't know if maybe
I thought
I
they
don't
signed
think
him.
not that I know of.
I thought they did. I thought I saw that they put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll confirm that or deny it.
While you're looking at that, if the Steelers can get a Van Jefferson from 2021, where he had 50 catches for 802 and 6 touchdowns, that was only 3 years ago, guys. If he can put that kind of numbers together and be the number 2, that could help Pickens out tremendously. I mean, he's a bigger guy. He's not exactly, Deshaun Jackson size-wise. He's a fair-sized guy. If he can catch 50 balls for 800 yards, yeah.
Right.
Fitzpatrick
is on the Chargers practice squad now. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm curious to find out what happened there, right? Because it's like he was having a pretty good preseason.
He was a leading receiver.
Good, huh?
He was our leading receiver.
Right, exactly. So the fact that they didn't that they cut him and then didn't sign him to the practice squad is a little disturbing.
Where did he go?
I don't know. The Chargers. He's playing for he's on the Chargers, but on the practice squad.
That's another whole mess out there.
Yep.
The Western Conference or Western Division winning Chargers. Oh, sorry. Shout out to one of our guys. Shout out to one of our guys that thinks the Chargers are going to go bananas this year.
Oh God.
Oh, he's not watching it. I don't know. I don't know if he's on. I don't know if Chris is on tonight or not. I don't know. He might be at the game. I think the Angels are home tonight.
It might be.
Yeah, he might be watching. I'm not sure. There is a couple people on YouTube that are watching, so I don't really know. Doesn't tell me
find
who.
Out shortly.
Yeah, a couple people watching. So Chris,
I'm sure
if you're
we'll
watching,
find out shortly.
I'm the BS. Oh man. Anyway, so is this the season we go under 500?
No, I don't know. I don't think so because I feel like Deontay Johnson was I honestly feel like at the end of the season, Deontay Johnson's going to end up being the biggest mistake of the offseason. I don't know. I don't know why they would have traded Johnson without having somebody, a backup plan, right? Maybe it was Ayuk, whatever, but it's like it would have been really nice to have him when San Francisco said, "Hey, we want a wide receiver in return for Brandon Ayuk." You know what I mean? That would have been really nice.
Yeah, they weren't even going to put up a receiver.
Right.
Like they could have thrown Calvin Austin in that deal. They couldn't have thrown. I think Calvin Austin would have been a steal deal. I did read later though that the Niners were trying to make this a 3-way trade and end up with Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. The Broncos, if that's true, the Broncos totally screwed us, right? Because they're like, yeah, we don't want to face Ayuk in week 2. Screw that. We're not going to do that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to help. You don't want to help an AFC team, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't
Especially
think
when you're playing that season.
I feel like, we haven't replaced the production that we lost with Deontay Johnson, and I think that's going to bite us in the ass. But I still don't think that we're going to go under 500. I mean, it's Tomlin just whatever he has some kind of like magic thing to stay under, stay at or above, 500 for his career. And I don't see how we upgraded slightly at quarterback, right? I mean, I don't know how much we did. It's kind of hard to tell right now. Pickens was horrible. You know what I mean? But we don't know what we've got in Russell Wilson just yet. So I just can't see how, if we upgraded at quarterback, how we're going to be any worse than we were last year. That's kind of my opinion, but I don't know. On the surface,
I think our receivers are horrible.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at the teams we're playing, you go, yeah, win, loss, maybe a win, maybe a loss, not too sure. Then all of a sudden, whenever you're done, you end up at 12-5, and you're like, how did we get here?
Right? Yeah.
Then the homerism is just sitting there going, yeah, we did all that. Yeah, there has to be a reality check. I think this is the year we go under 500, Rich. I really do. And
yeah, I know you do.
I mean, I just do. I mean, unfortunately, I am not a Tomlin fan at all, and I love this team to death. I think he's just stale water here. His cliches are just outdone. It's so bland. He gives you no information. It's just bland. It's not exciting. It's not exciting football anymore.
Yeah.
So it would make a difference if they were going 10-7 and it was Dan Campbell coaching the team?
I wouldn't care who coaches the team, Rich. We need new blood in here.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp. I used to be, who are we going to get better than Tomlin? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I just sort of feel like he's gotten to be complacent. You know what I mean? He's gotten to be kind of boring. And he's not, it's been however long, 16 years since Cowher's been gone. But it's like, I still feel like even though it's been that long, that we still kind of crave that excitement. You know what I mean? That a little bit of animation, on the sideline that Tomlin just he doesn't seem to have any real life to him when he's
on the sideline. If that's the case, you sure as hell don't want Arthur Smith to be your next head coach.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
there's cardboard stand-up dummies on the display carts that are more animated than Arthur Smith is. Come on.
I was just finally throwing out a name, Rich. I wasn't really saying that to be it, but they brought in a secondary head coach to help the coach. And okay, Allison, I got you. All right. Since we're going down this rabbit hole, do you feel that after the loss to Green Bay, and we lost all of Cowher's culture that was left over with the head coaches and the players, that everything just kind of went downhill?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't argue that. I don't know. Nope.
I mean, no one talks about the Tomlin's 8-9 in the playoffs. He's under 500.
Right.
We won all our games in the first 3 years that he was here. We might have won one down the road, but I mean, we've still lost a lot more than we've won.
I
don't know, Rich. It's just gone stale. I mean, I know everyone craves this. We would love having a 9-8 coach. We'll take them. I crave a coach that wants to win the damn Super Bowl. That wants to play in February. That wants to fill a trophy case instead of just all about me, because I'm going to Canton because I never let my team under 500. This way to get into Canton.
You're missing my biggest point with this.
And I bet Cowher's been to the playoffs a lot more too than the other guy. And Cowher,
but you've missed my biggest.
I feel like
you missed the biggest point I had with this, though. I would rather go 10-7, 11-6, 9-8 every year than go Super Bowl and then go 3-14 the other 8 years around it. It sounds like you would rather do exactly that. Win one Super Bowl and be complete trash for the 8 years or 4 years each side of it.
But it's not getting us anywhere, Rich. It's keeping us in the middle
of
the road.
You in the postseason.
it's not getting us anywhere. It's not getting us anywhere, Rich. We're not filling up a trophy case going 9-8.
Yeah, so Tomlin's 8-10 in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and Cowher's 12-9.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot we lost last. I forgot we lost. I never put that. I don't even count we like we're really even in the.
Yeah, right. Because every time we go, we lose in the first round.
We get blown out. It's not even funny.
Yeah. That's what 2016 was the last time we went deep in the playoffs.
Like I say,
so adapted to it's okay to be mediocre. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yep.
And I live on the edge where I need a trophy.
Well, but Adam, it's a whole lot easier to go from mediocre and a championship than it is to go from trash to the Super Bowl. It's a whole hell of a lot easier to go from 10-7, 9-8 to 13-4 in a Super Bowl than it is to go from 5-12 to a Super Bowl.
But if it's that easy, how come we haven't done it yet?
You just need one or two pieces. The problem is, and this is where my problem has been, I didn't like the case of drafting Pickett. I've looked at it and I've said it for a while. Drafting a quarterback was not the question. They needed to get the right free agent quarterback. There's been free agent quarterbacks out there to get. There's been several of them out there to get. They just haven't gotten the right one.
I don't know, man. I think it would just be so weird to have a free agent guy come in and be our quarterback. I don't know. It'd be weird.
You know, there's still a guy hanging out there that made a lot of playoff teams, was very successful in Tennessee.
Oh, Tannehill.
Would you rather have Tannehill?
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of pro Tannehill, like in the offseason, like, you know, when I think it was even before, you know, when in early free agency, right? But just because he was an Arthur Smith guy, you know, and he had a lot of success on Arthur Smith's offense. But you know, I guess it's one of those situations where sure, but you know, if they haven't done it now, they're not going to do it type situation. So,
but is Tannehill any better than Russ?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's the same guy.
Yeah.
I think they're both trash. But anyway.
Say again?
I think they're both trash.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rich, and I don't know. Russ is what, 35? Okay,
yeah.
So we watched Joe Flacco come back, look great for 4 games. Then all of a sudden, the arm completely fell off against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like the arm's only good for so long. You can only throw so many deep.
That's why I think Russ doesn't make it to week 5. He'll be okay for a little while, and then he's going to go fall off a cliff. And Justin Fields is going to take over. Fields is what, 26?
Yeah, I think he's 25, 26, something like that.
I think he just turned 26, actually.
Okay. I mean, realistically, he could. I'm not saying he will. He could have 10 years in a black and gold jersey.
Yeah.
Which is the way they wanted it to be in the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's essentially what happened, right? I think they brought in, so he just turned 25 in March, Justin Fields.
Okay.
Yeah, we just had a birthday, but I didn't.
Yeah. I do think that's, you know, I mean, you'd have to be blind not to think this, but I mean, I think that they brought Russell Wilson in to be a mentor for Justin Fields, and that their hope is that, you know, Justin Fields becomes the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers and has this mentor, you know, in Russell Wilson for the year, right? I mean, they're both 1 year, they're both on 1 year contracts, so the Steelers have a big decision. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see them ever, you know, re-signing Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? After the season, but
get him for another $1 million if they do, because he's under that weird contract from.
Denver,
that's right.
Yeah.
They get him for like 85 cents. That's right.
Right. Yeah. But it would just be
up to
Wilson whether he wants to be a mentor for the rest of his career or not. And he might want to. I mean, he seems like he has kind of that mentor, coachy kind of watching him while he was, as he was injured at training camp, all you saw, before he started practicing was him pointing and him talking to receivers and talking to Justin Fields and things. So I think that he has that in him. You know what I mean? So
I don't understand why you would want to play when you're making $80 million in the next 2 years.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I would
I think
not.
I'd be okay. I think I'd be okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, but there's a lot worse backups you could have.
Right. And that's also why we're not athletes, right? Like, we're not athletes. So it's
Right,
a lot of athletes are competitive, right? They want to just keep playing until, their legs fall off. And, it could be maybe something Russell Wilson wants to do. Maybe he wants to keep playing beyond, this year. Or maybe he just doesn't want to be a mentor and sit on a bench behind, Justin Fields, Next, I'm talking about, next season. This season, he may have to, right? What is he going to do?
Or maybe he just wanted a photo op with the Watt boy, and because they both went to Wisconsin.
Right. Maybe.
They could do that at Fanatics Fest. Calm down.
Oh. So really, what do you guys think? What are you seeing number wise? What are you seeing like? Are we gonna have a 1,000-yard rusher?
Yeah, I mean, because Najee hasn't he not ever had one?
Najee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had one. He's had a couple.
No, I mean, he's had one. I guess I should have said it. He's not. He's always had 1,000-yard seasons, hasn't he?
Yeah. 3 seasons, 1,200, 1034, 1035.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. It'd be nice if we had 2. I mean, that's going to be not happening, but it'd be kind of cool if Warren got 1,000 yards.
I don't think we've ever had that, have we?
Yeah, Franco and Blyer.
Yeah, Blyer. Yep, you're right. Yep, we have.
I figured you would.
Franco and Rocky.
Right.
You knew I was going to get it if it was Rocky. Yeah, you're right. Rocky's my guy.
Favorite player.
Yeah.
I didn't really grow up. I didn't really. Me and you probably both didn't really see Blyer playing.
You guys missed out. You really did. I don't think we have one. I think we probably have multiple over 800. I think you're going to end up. And this is really probably a reach, but I think you're going to see Najee, Warren, and either Patterson or Fields over 800.
Wow.
Probably Fields.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's always good to be optimistic. I don't see Fields doing that, but you never know, right? I mean, it'd be pretty great for sure. I sort of feel like they're going to win 10 games. I know it's going to be tough with the schedule, but I can't see them being worse. I mean, maybe they have the same record as last year, but I don't see them being worse. Maybe it's, the Yinzer in me, but it's kind of my take.
That's what I was saying. The Yinzers, then I saw the schedule and go, yeah, we got this.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to look at the upside or the downside and go, we might not have that one. We might not have that one.
Yeah.
Yep. 10 and 7. Sounds good.
Right. Yeah.
I think I had 12 and 5 at first look at the schedule back when it first came out.
You had your black and gold color glasses on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
That was before we saw any practicing. That was before we saw them hit the field. That was before we saw the first preseason game where we went, oh, maybe they're not as good as they look on paper.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just my thoughts. I mean, but at first glance, I was 12 and 5. I think I was pretty homer.
Now he's got them 5 and 12.
Well, it's hard because the preseason.
But the schedule is a lot rougher than we think.
Yeah.
Now that we have to see, we don't have many. I think when the schedule came out, we still had Deontay Johnson. I believe we still had Johnson whenever the schedule came out. So that was like Pickens. Now we got Ross. I had different thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Now the papers like unfolded a little bit, and you're like, huh. So I mean, it could be 8-10 or 8-9, 7-10.
Yeah, so the Deontay Johnson trade, that's what I was thinking. It was in March, and the schedule didn't come out until May. But still, it's like, you look at, I think the preseason sort of put a damper on things, right? Because, not winning a preseason game is kind of sad. I mean, it's also the preseason, I get it. But I think last year, didn't they win every preseason game? And like Kenny Pickett was like the preseason hero, and then look what happened, right? So maybe the fact that they went 0-3 means that they're gonna, totally surprise everybody. They're gonna shock the NFL world starting Sunday.
Two of the first 4 Super Bowl years they didn't win a preseason game.
Right. Well, hey, there you go.
So I've got them winning 10. I told Adam at the very beginning. I saw him going 7-2 in the beginning, 3-5 in the end. Because that back end is just brutal, and like we talked about, that 3 games in 10 days. I got them taking 1 out of those 3. I'm not sure which one. Probably the first one. But I can't realistically predict more than 1 out of 3 on those. Just division game and super good team. Boom, 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 boom. 8 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I think 3-5, 4-4 would be great. I'd be really happy at 4-4. But I think 3-5 is pretty realistic on the back half of the season. But the front half of the season is a lot more workable. So that's why I've got them going 10-7.
Yeah. My only concern about that is the Steelers always start off this, they kind of, all teams are rusty, right? Except for the Chiefs. All teams are rusty when they first come out. But it's like, it just seems like Tomlin, he's like, oh, we don't want to peak in September. You know what I mean? We're December football, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, come on, man. Like, it's kind of a frustrating kind of way they go about it or whatever. But, but yeah, so I guess it's better that the front half of the season is more manageable, because we have a tendency to just be like kind of trying to figure stuff out for a long time. We don't know our identity, right, until like game 9 or 10. You know what I mean? So it's like,
they better know their identity a whole lot quicker than that this year.
Yeah.
They better, or they're going to be in trouble.
And we got an early bye, right?
Week 8, I think, is the bye. Let me look.
9. Week 9.
9. So right in the middle.
We really could have used that bye like week 12.
Yeah.
12, 13, 14 would have been nice, but
Yep.
At least we didn't get it week 2 or week 4. The first week is
like we did the COVID year, right? When did the COVID year we had like a week 3 bye? Oh my god, that was the worst.
Then you never even knew if you're going to get played either. Like,
what's that?
That was a mess. You didn't even know if the games were going to get played. Like,
right, yeah, yep.
Hell, like that was a mess. That COVID stuff was a mess.
Yeah, that was the year we had the Wednesday game. Played Baltimore on Wednesday or something like that.
We had a Sunday game right after that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got screwed that year for sure. But we can't really complain because people were dying. So.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
And still had a winning record.
Right.
That's the case on them winning records, Rich. I think you could probably put tabs on there and like the bullet stickers and write 9-8, 2023.
Yeah.
And that's your trophy. Excited?
All I'm telling you is it's a whole lot easier to go from where they are now to a Super Bowl than it is to go from trash to a Super Bowl.
We're not going to where you're talking about, Rich. We're not going up. We're staying level, and it's not good. You keep saying we're going to go up, but we haven't moved. We've gone 9-8. We've gone 9-8. We've gone 10-7, and that was after going 11-0, and then all of a sudden we lose the last.
Oh god, that was the worst.
And we lose in the first round again, and Richie's then he tries running Jacoby's Jacoby Brissett off the field. I don't know. I just can't wait for people to realize like he's not that good. For a team, for himself, he's getting in the can because he has a above 500 record. But as a team, he has 1 Super Bowl and 10 losses with 8 wins.
Yep.
And now we have to say Mendenhall did not fumble.
Mendenhall.
And that changed the whole momentum of that game so bad. We were on the momentum. We were on the build of beating the Packers, and then he dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It really looked like a fumble to me, but he dropped the ball.
It was there. Yeah, I know. I know.
It's rough.
Right.
I got to meet Rocky Bleier that week. That was the highlight of the week.
Aw.
Oh, that's right. That was in Dallas. Remember the ice ball?
Yeah, it was in Dallas. That was the Ice Bowl. Yeah, Ice Super Bowl. Yeah. Radio Row. We were working, and I met Bettis, and then Bettis introduced me to Rocky Bleier. He was standing right in front of us.
And you were probably ready to go home right after that.
Hey, it was going downhill from there. Outside of a win, it was going downhill from there because I got to meet my Steeler hero. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's definitely a interesting setup. But by the way, you were talking about where's it at? Playoff record and that kind of stuff. You do know that not all of the great coaches of all time have winning records in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
I'm just making sure he understands this, that, not all of them had, 12-4 records in the playoffs.
We talk about this 500 record and how important it is in the regular season, but all of a sudden, you're under 500 in the where it counts season, and everyone's like, well, regular season's better. No, participation trophies don't happen in the NFL. Allison, have you guys had anyone good on your show?
Yeah, we had Alex Highsmith. But again, let's see. So I think the last year we did it was 2022. So we had Alex Highsmith, we had Isaac Seumalo. Seumalo. I keep wanting to combine Palomalu and Seumalo, and so I always end up saying Seumalo, which is not true. Seumalo. But anyway, so I gotta correct myself every time I say it like that, or else I'm just never gonna remember. Yeah, Bob Pompiani was on. That was pretty cool. We had a bunch of Steelers beat writers. Brian Batko.
That was Bob.
Joe Rudder. Bob's awesome. Bob is wonderful.
He seems like a down-to-earth character. He
is very down-to-earth. We even had a Didi Kinkabwala, who Steelers fans tend to hate, but she's pretty awesome as well. Yeah, so we had some pretty fun people on our show. But I actually have a cool little story. So I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a league called the Alliance of American Football for like 6 months. And Troy and Hines both worked for the league. And they had their business offices were located in Tampa. And I happen to live in Tampa. I applied for the executive assistant job and I got it. So I basically ended up working for Troy and Hines. I mean, they were both in Hines was in Atlanta and Troy was in California, but they came, for conferences and things. So I got to meet them a couple times and they got to book flights for them and stuff. So that was kind of like a crazy moment, right? Because when I met the both of them, I didn't want to be one of those people who's like, you know what I mean? Because I was working for them, right? So I scared my cats. They're all freaked out. They're like, what did you just do? But anyway, so I got to work for them for a little while. The league obviously didn't last, but that was a pretty cool moment for sure. That's my story on that.
Did you ever ask them to come on your podcast by chance?
No. So after the league folded, we just, we didn't really keep in touch or anything. So unfortunately,
I didn't know if you reached out to him or talk to him like
Right.
whenever they
Yeah.
were
Nope. Did not get to have him on my podcast. No, I did not. Kind of a bummer.
Mm.
But I
That'd been
did interview so working for Steelers Wire, it's part of USA Today, so I get to do a lot of PR. Like when Watt was on the cover of Wheaties, like I got to interview him, and I've got a chance to interview Troy a couple times and Terry Bradshaw and things. So I've done some pretty cool interviews. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think I interviewed him more than any other player, obviously when he was part of the Steelers, but. Yeah, so a lot of really cool interviews I've gotten to do for sure. But everybody seems pretty cool. Cam Hayward, but nobody's gonna come on and be a jerk, right? They're doing PR interviews, right? So, yeah, cool stuff for sure.
neat.
Yeah.
My buddy, one of our co-hosts, does Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
and he always brings Daniel Wilcox on, and he just torments the living shit out of me. Because him and Tomlin and Morris, they all won the Super Bowl in Tampa, and he's always like, "Man, he's a great guy," and I'm like, "Yeah, because he was your tight end coach. He wasn't your head coach at that time."
Right.
Me and him big back and forth about it, and
Yeah.
we look. He says he looks forward to it, but I don't really know. But I mean, like I've talked to him on air a couple times, and
Mm-hmm.
I got to talk to Ray Rice. Obviously, our Baltimore guy. He runs ship around here. He's pretty badass at bringing in ex players and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard Muller, he's a fun guy to talk to too. But yeah, I don't any Steelers. I mean, I've met Steelers, but I've never had any
Right.
on my podcast.
Yeah.
Like I was at work when I worked at the airport. They flew all the time. Max Starks flew weekly, I think, even when they weren't playing, because I think he has a house down in Tampa now.
Oh, okay. Nice. He's a big dude.
That's where he was always going. So I'm assuming he
Right.
had a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, when you work somewhere, you get to see these people more and more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always fun to meet them. It's how you handle it, though.
Right. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to.
Yep. No.
Like I told Rich, like Sidney Crosby, when I worked at the airport, would come out there and walk the airport.
Mm-hmm.
He would walk the terminals because he knew no one would bother him. Even being around other people, he still knew that no one was going to mess with him. It was just wild.
Yeah.
But
Plus,
anyway,
you got his steps in.
What's that?
Plus, you got his steps in.
Right. But anyway, guys, we got anything more, Allison? You gave us a little over an hour. I'm grateful.
Go Steelers! That's all I got for you. I really, I'm just really hope we're all kind of optimistic. Like none of us wants to see the Steelers have a losing season. Wants to, some of us think they might, but really, it's going to be.
Yeah, he does.
Interesting. You don't.
He wants them to go 4-13 so they can have the number 1 pick when there's no quarterback coming in.
Oh well, I mean. Even then, though, you think about it. I mean, everybody sort of wants to have a high draft pick to get a quarterback, but even that's a crapshoot, right? We've seen so many teams drafted. Look at Carolina. They with that whatever guy. Yeah, I mean they could end up
traded, and they
Right,
traded for that pick. They traded the Stroud pick for Young.
Yeah, they did.
You sit there and you go, "Oh, you did this to yourself."
Right.
Kind of like what Chicago did with Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
Let's trade up and get this guy and not take the guy that's won back-to-back Super Bowls.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's rough. Rough for them.
Okay.
Oh well.
Well, I am thankful for you come on. Allison, you're welcome to come and chat.
Anytime, man. It's fun. Had a good time.
Appreciate you.
Like I said, you're welcome to come back.
Cool, man.
But
sounds good.
Rich, are we gonna do Mondays for football? That way, it's like right after the game. It's fresh, or are we gonna stick Wednesdays?
Do we want to do it during Monday Night Football?
I don't know. It's something to talk about.
That's
I wasn't sure. I didn't know what you wanted to do. We usually do Wednesdays, so that's baseball. But
yeah.
Football's different. Like by Wednesday, you're ready to move on already.
That's true. Sometimes
Monday is fresh in the picture.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it. I just didn't know if we wanted to do it during Monday Night Football, but I mean, we could trash Monday Night Football, and we could do our own little Manning cast there.
There you go. It could be the Big Hurricane podcast. I was gonna say Hurricane Big, but that doesn't make any sense. So
No.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Anyway, Allison, how do people
Yeah.
get a hold of you?
Right. Oh gosh. At A Kohler NFL on Twitter. It's pretty much Facebook kind of sucks. No offense, but to Facebook, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but they can pretty much read my stuff on Steelers Wire if they just Google Steelers Wire. Pretty much write, 3 or 4 articles a day at least, and it's pretty much where they can find me. Steelers Wire, SteelersWire.com. Woo.
All right.
Yes.
I will. I think I followed the Steeler Wire because I followed.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. We follow each other now, so that's exciting.
So now.
Yeah, and I started following you today too. So.
Okay, sweet. If I haven't followed you back, I'm sure I will.
You did.
Oh, sweet. Okay, awesome. Good to know. We're all friends. Yay, kumbaya.
Yay.
Right.
Chair Sports on the network. He's got like 18,000 followers. I don't know.
Nice. Very cool.
He's good. Anyway, Rich, how do people get a hold of you, buddy?
On Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it this week, Go Big Go Home Pod. Facebook, my name, Rich Richardson. I'm with Allison. Facebook is definitely less of a part of this than Twitter is, but yeah, either one of those, hit me up. And of course, find out what we're doing, Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. And of course, open mic tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Central, I guess.
Open mic. I'll send you an invite. But open floor, just to let you know. I didn't look at any topics because I have no idea.
Right.
Well, we gotta do our NFL picks, if nothing else.
That's true.
There you go. If you want to join us
There you
tomorrow
go.
night out, you're open 9 o'clock.
Perhaps. Actually, I do have a Joey Bag of Donuts podcast. I got to do that tomorrow. Bag of Donuts podcast. So I'll be doing that. But hey, it's great.
He's blown up too.
He is. Yeah.
That dude is blown up. Doesn't he do with something with Pony on the 93.7?
Oh no, that's a different guy.
Oh, I thought it was the same name.
It might be. I have no idea. Hopefully I didn't get Joe in trouble with a little copyright issue.
Right. Anyway, guys, I am Talking Sports on Twitter, whatever we're calling it. Obviously, Hurricane just stayed there because that's what people started calling me, and I have no idea. But anyway, find us on Driving to the Top. Like, subscribe, hit the comment button. Always welcome to, even though I don't know. I'm sure we got some Twitter comments somewhere because we're definitely on Matt's page, the Baltimore page, and I'm sure they were rather hyper.
I'm sure they're always friendly over there.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, and everybody have a good night.
Great. Thanks for having me on, guys.